Check two, check two.
Great to be here.
Hello, good evening. Check two. Are you reading me loud and clear? Hello, good evening, Rototom Sunsplash, Reggae University. How's everybody doing this afternoon? It is so wonderful to see you all and to be right back here where we belong at Rototom Sunsplash. We've got a very special opening panel for you this afternoon. We will be looking at the sound of redemption, reggae music and the Rastafari message in our time. We have some esteemed guests and we're co-presenting this with the House of Rastafari. Most of you who've been here before, you will be familiar with those of us presenting these panels, but just to give you a reminder, all the way on the far side over there, we have Koehlings and Pete Lilly, the joint editors of Riddim Magazine from Cologne, Germany. On my left, you have Pier Tosi, the broadcaster and writer, journalist from Bologna, Italy. You have myself, author and journalist David Katz, based in London, UK. On this session, we also have Ras Aikula and Ras Julio from the House of Rastafari. And we have our esteemed special guests, Ras Aikula and Clinton Fearon. Now, Ras Julio, I'd like to hand over to you for you to say a few words and to kick off this session as we look at the Rastafari message and its importance in our time.
Haile Selassie the First, greetings, blessed love, each and every one. Beautiful people, beautiful faces. And it's indeed a joy to be here, 2022, in this magnetic place, which is Reggae University, Rototom Sunsplash, House of Rastafari, and of course, amongst all of you, which really make this festival unique. So first, I would like to give thanks for your presence, because we know that presence is the first act of love, and there is nothing better that sometime a person can do. So thank you for being here. Thank you for those that have traveled from near and far to be part of this unique moment. And I am once again blessed to sit amongst elders, and it happened again this year too. And I am so honored, you know, to be in the presence of Clinton Fearon and Iqulah Rastafari, please. Yeah. Yes, they have traveled from far, and they are very, very busy on the schedule. Still, they have taken time to be here with I today. So I would like first to, open or let Ras Aikula Rastafari to open with a small blessing for this 22 edition of this beautiful festival. So Ras Aikula.
Yes, beloved. How great thou art, His Majesty. How great thou art. It is He that has made us and not we ourselves. We are His people and the sheep of His pasture. Enter into His gates with thanksgiving and into His courts with praise. Be thankful unto Him and bless His name, O Jah! Rastafari, Kadamawi, Ixiabir, Masagan. Jah, O Jah, be merciful unto I and hear I when I call. Ever uplift I and I head to be removed out of the dens of dragon liars, thief, mongers, and sorcerer. Ever right I and I to give praises forever. I and I have been beaten rubber for name or language and I man culture. Just smite the dragon that seek I life and I dread salvation. Just stand up for I rights, justice against the unjust rules of Rome and the abomination creators of Babylon. Jews and Gentiles of different races, Jive smite them with the sun by day and the moon by night. Let their ways be dark and slippery. Yearly I and I, the optimist, stand strong in physical endurance and mental stability and spiritual grace, because we are confident in the victory of good over evil. Haile Selassie the First, live and reign. I, Majesty, blessed love.
Give thanks, blessed love, blessed love. Give thanks, Ras Aikula. And before to get into the topic, I would love Clinton Fearon, if possible, to give a a greeting of blessings to all these beautiful people that come here to hear your voice, your message, and your soul speaking.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you, my brother. One thing I can say, I am just so blessed and happy and feel joy from within to be here with you all today. I remember when I was like 10 years old, little Rasta man named Ram, brother, we call him Brother Ram in my country, but in the hills. Going to school and he stopped me, hey, come here, son, come here, son. And he built me a little spliff, no longer than this. You know, and he said, take a draw. He lit it for me, you know what I'm saying? And showed me, he took a draw, and then he gave me and said, take a draw. And said, okay, all right, that's enough. Just all a little small, so that's enough. All right, go to school, go learn of Babylon so you don't become Babylon. I didn't know what he was talking about at the time until later on it grew and grew and grew, you know. And I can't write anything else but about love and joy and peace and happiness for each and every one on the face of the earth. Because you know what? Where I grew up in the hills, I learned to love trees, flowers, birds, ants, everything. Mama Nature. And so therefore I love each and every one of you just the same. And I tell you what, I love myself because if I don't love myself, I can't love you. So I love myself just the same. And I love you all, so hey. And my thing is, remember to do what you love and love what you do. Just be righteous about it. One love. Thanks for coming. Thanks for having me here with you.
Give thanks, Clinton Fearon. Wow. Wow. I don't know if we realize we are in the presence of giants. Not only musically giants, but, you know, spiritual giants. So it's so beautiful to have you here. It's so beautiful for all of I that have been coming, you know, from different parts of Europe, of the world, after 2 years of, you know, standby to come and drink some water in order to water the roots. That's what we need. Yeah, people here is in need of watering the roots. So we have already gone into the topic of today, which is the union of Rastafari and reggae music. Yeah, this topic of today is about this coexistence. Yeah, this unity, this oneness of roots music, reggae music, and the Rastafari message. So we're gonna reason with our guests here about their history and their vision about these two elements that we like to see as one unique elements. The positive, the spiritual, the humanitarian side of reggae music, which comes out of Rastafari culture, of an enlightened and inspired way of living. So I don't know if David or any other.
Yeah, so we're aware that each of you have made an important contribution in bringing awareness of Rastafari and the importance of Rastafari to the wider world through your music. And we'll be looking at that a little later in the session. But how we'd like to begin this session, Ras Julio and myself, we'd like to hear from each of you. Aikula, Clinton Fearon, tell us your experience of first hearing music that was informed by Rastafari consciousness. Where did you first hear music like that? What did you hear? And what effect did it have on you?
Yes. Give me a little more microphone, because I don't want to shout.
A bit more microphone level, please. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. Yes, I give thanks. Yes, well, hear it up now. In Jamaica, I was one of the Rasta youth who rise up in Jamaica, seeing, and go through a lot of atrocities. From 1966, I man see Haile Selassie I, physically, see him in the flesh, all right? And I go and tell you something. Them have a little thing in Jamaica, them call the common entrance examination. And I man did pass the common entrance examination for go at them high fool, when them say school, high fool, you know? And when I man approach and going to school, the headmaster from a school them called Woolmaz say, this school is not for you. This school is not for you. No Rasta can come here. Then I was kicked out of that school and then go Bumper Hall, a next school them called St. Andrew Technical, where the headmaster was Isaac Henry. And him also said, youth, you can't come to this school. Through higher dreadlock, Rasta youth. Anyway, it so happened that I had to flee to the hills, seeing, and start to live in the Wisi jungle, chanting Nyabingi continually, seeing. And I tell you, say, I come from Sentan, seeing, and Sentan, Jamaica, you know, so Sentan, Jamaica have certain amount of current. The Honorable Marcus Garvey, my gates was 2 Garden Tenant Road, and him live right around the Market Street, around the corner. See, and that's where Marcus Garvey rise up. So I always maintain the Marcus Garvey tradition in terms of, as a Garveyite. My mother was a Garveyite, my auntie a Garveyite, my whole family. See? It so happened that Empress Sarah, which her grandfather was the man that plays the fiddle when Garvey used to come out in the town squares. So this is the history that now my people are passed on to I and I. So chanting Nyabingi was the heartbeat. So one day, I man go up into 9 Mile because, you know, Bob Marley mother, Ansidi, I call her Ansidi, and Bob call my mother Anvi, you know, through the scent and vibration. And I tell you, I say, in the hills I live. So one day now, the music, you know, my daddy had a sound system called the President. So I keep chanting Bingi, chanting Bingi, chanting Bingi. So one day, Augustus Pablo come check I in the hills. And Augustus said to I, say, Aikula, you know, said I have a nice vibes. And I said, what do I mean? He said, fire, you know, said I if you start chant some songs. And I man said, when the time is right. Seeing, but it never hit me at the time. Yeah, I seen, never hit me at the time to start recording. So I always chant. So, seeing, so after Bob drop out now, it's like Sister Marcia Griffiths and Sister Judy look at I one day with the bridging called Sky High, and I say, Bingi, you know, say you need to start do some tune. Pablo come again with Naya Bingi Kojo. There I know Kojo. Seeing, Kojo come and say twice, Aikula, yeah man, they have to do some music, man. So that's where now I start seeing the music, and the real impact of the music now, you know, say it was Ras Michael in them time there through the Nyabingi vibration and Bongo Joe. Yeah, Bongo Joe. Seeing, even Brother Clinton at you know, the man has some original pioneer in the thing too, you know, seeing the I man admire said we as family. Seeing family? Yeah, so that's where the impact of the music come now, where it take effect and I. Through the Nyabingi order. Rastafari. Perfect strength.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, so just Iqulah, just to quickly recap, what you were saying essentially, as a schoolboy, you were ejected not from one school but 2, and that was because you were wearing dreadlocks.
Yes, I.
And then you're saying through the experience of being in the hills, you were exposed to Nyabingi music.
Yeah, because
and it manifested that way.
Yeah, because you see the thing about it now. I know who the current so strong in Haile Selassie after seeing His Majesty, you know, and I did maintain them King Sippel there. And the matter of the day was to see the atrocities and the tribulation that I parents and family have been through, to see that the black man redemption now becomes the people's liberation, that all nations gravitate to this music called reggae. So it's a power, and I man can say it's a blessing. So traditionally speaking, you know that religious sects have established themselves from such time, 2,000 years ago, 3,000 years ago, and to see reggae. See, the birth of reggae just come last week. And to the international impact that this music take to the world, the 4 corners of the earth. You go to China, a reggae. You go to Japan, a reggae. Anywhere you go on earth right now is reggae. So give thanks for the music. Rastafari live. Bless you.
Nice. Yes. Now, Clinton Fearon, what can you tell us of your experience? How and when did you first hear music expressing a Rastafari consciousness?
Oh man, it's a long story. It's a long story. Actually, it started when I lived in the hills. And there's a little man that used to make bamboo flute. And I watched him, and I built a bamboo flute for myself. I used pumpkin stalk. I used to hear, I didn't have radio, clock, time, or anything like that. I used stars and shadows for time. You know, anyway, I built those things. I used to hear little sounds here and there from some of my friends who have little pocket radio, and hear scatter lights, and the drum song which Brother Joe played. Yeah, right. Then, wow, this sounds good, you know. Then when I was 9 years old, like elementary school I used to go in Point Hill, went to Kingston, and all the elementary school actually in Jamaica met at the stadium in Kingston. And I actually, I lied to my dad, say, hey, we don't have to pay any money to go, it's free. And then I asked the teacher to trust me a ride. So anyway, I got there and the scatter lights were playing. And they were having so much fun and the music hit me so deep. And I said to myself, that's what I'm going to do. That's exactly that I'm going to do. I know I'm going to do it. I went home, I asked my dad to buy me a guitar, and said I don't have any money. So about a year later, I made me one. You know, use utensils like fork that you eat with. You know, I cut the teeth off, use those for frets. I use broken glass for machete. You know, I'd make my own tools, 6 inches nail, flat it out and use it for chisel, all of that. But I made my own guitar. And thank you. Just love the music, you know. And my dad, he used to go Adventist church. I used to go with him too, and them have me in the choir for a minute. You know, I still didn't love the church runnings too much. You know, when the preaching I go on, I fell asleep. You know, when the music is going on, I'm awake, you know what I mean? And I didn't know what was either. I feel I was being rude by not staying awake for the sermon. But when I went to Kingston and I met Brother Joe, yeah, through Albert Griffiths. Albert Griffiths introduced me to Brother Joe. And we and Brother Joe sitting and play some rhythms. Cedric Myton passed through several, you know, Ras Aikula, who would just down the road from bass player from Scatterlights, Light Brevet, you know. So I realized, oh man, I'm in the midst of everyone here, you know. I soak in everything, you know, from Naya Bingi to ska to rock steady. All of it, everything. And that's what I incorporate with my music today. All of it. Even some hymns from the church, you know, I incorporate in it because I just love music dearly. And I think that's what Rasta music is about. It's about life and about all life. All of it. We don't exclude, you know, inclusive. You know, we all have a right to be here. We all have a right to be heard. We all have a right to be loved. But we also have the right to love one another as well. You know what I mean? And that's my philosophy on that. And I'm still learning. I'm still learning, you know. So blessed be and Jah guide and protect while you do what you love and love what you do.
Okay, so now each of you have invoked some historical figures and some historical events. So just to remind the good public gathered here about how far and deep and wide the branches of Rastafari are in this music, let's take a listen to an adapted hymn featuring some members of the Scatterlights and the percussionist Scully in his singing role as Zoot Sims. This is track 2. Let's take a listen to a bit of Golden Pen.
Hina twat am like lich. Touch my finger and the golden pen, the golden pen, the golden pen. Will you write my name? Write my name on there. Write my name. Write my name on there. Please, I don't mind.
Yeah. Now, do either of you remember hearing music like this along the way, or was it not really featured on the radio or in public?
Oh man, I tell you what, I have to say something. Sorry, I have to say something here, because talking about Ras Aikula, when I just go Studio One, with gladiators and all trembly and nervous and things like that. Oh boy, this is bigger than me, Ras Aikula was, we're going busy, oh boy, I'll mash it up today, peer encouragement, Scully was one of them that was totally real, totally a real person, and it's like, enough encouragement, and I will never forget Ras Scully for this, Irie brethren, and so, in past I'm gone, but the spirit live on, and his music shall be forever. Yeah.
So my brother, do you want me to show you now what I do with that kind of music?
Yes, show the good people
Play it
gathered
again,
here.
play it again.
Go for it.
The hina twat am like lich. Touch my finger and the golden pen, the golden pen, the golden pen. Touch my finger and the golden pen, write my name out there. Will you write my name? Write my name out there. Write my
Yes, original legs man, Ras Aikula.
All right. So this kind of music now, this is how I grew up with this kind of music. Because we call that the shuffle. You don't need no girl to dance to that kind of music. As Brother Clinton said, shuffle whole night. A shuffle at Just Brother Clinton knew it, See, because I saw the whole I and I grew as youth. We shuffle whole night. And people stamp and say, whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah, man, I was a band shuffler. Rastafari, blessings.
Okay. Now, track 3. Now, Ras Aikula, you mentioned being present when His Majesty came to Jamaica.
Yeah.
And that you witnessed him in the flesh. So, of course, that visit was immortalized in song by Pier Tosi at Studio One. So let's give a little listen to track 3, and we'll see what memories this triggers for each of you.
Seal up. Few days ago, and we had a wonderful time. So good. Believe. Everybody was jumping and was shaking their body line. So mighty, so dreadful. Rasta shook them up. Rasta shook them up. Our father wept just to see where his children slept.
Yes.
Yes, I. Lot of memories, Yeah, because the thing about it now, you know, I was going to save something for tomorrow, but I can at least go in and look apart right now. Yeah, all right. You see, the whole history around the visit of Haile Selassie I, strength and redeemer of our life, it was a very mystical thing. The Rasta community was a very stable community. The Rasta community could feed themselves, being creative, we knit, we weave, we do everything. But because of the atrocities now with the Coral Garden incident that come mash down I, tear down I, you know, see it. So what happened now is that the visit of the emperor now, seeing, Ras Julia, can I go into it? I'll save it for tomorrow. I'm not sure. I see. All right. This is a very important part of the history. The first Rastaman that I behold with these two eyes was an Asian called Bongo Stano. Bongo Stano is the elder that teach I everything. Bongo Stano used to be an elder now that used to go to school with my mom. Bongo Stano was born 1920. My mom born 1921. They used to go to school together. So at the age of 5, through the grace of the Most High, my mom said to I have a very good friend. I was 5 years young. I Rasta never grow old. See? 5 years young. So my mom take I to visit this man called Bongo Stano. But first she said to me, this is the man they call the Black Heart Man. So I said, yeah? 5 years old, you know. So I said, Mom, I don't want to go, you know. What is this, you know? Mom said, no, it's a very unique person, and he's my classmate. We go to school together. So when I went and visit this Asian, you know, see it? When I come around the corner, and my mom said, that's Bongo Stano. When I look at Bongo Stano, I could see, like, the sun ray coming off his face. The man was so joyful. He said to me, I walk up to him, and I shook his hand, you know. And then Bongo Stano look at I and say, don't shake my hand. I don't shake hand, I shake heart. And he take his right hand and slap the ground, blop, and said, groundation is the revelation. So I said, he said, have a seat. So when I sit up on the ground and my mom was over there, then Bongo Stano look at I, and he was just laughing. So I said to him, Bongo Stano, why do they call you the Black Heart Man? And he just laughed. He said, oh, Jah. He said, I and I are the ones that have been through great tribulation. And he said, blessed are they that hail him, Emperor Haile Selassie is the Almighty. So I said, tell me about the tribulation. He said, well, as you may not know the history, you're a little youth, but your mom may know that we have been taken away from the continent of Africa. See, in the slave ship leave Liverpool in England and go to the Guinea Coast in Africa. And then they cargo I and I into the Western world for 400 years. I and I have nothing to show. He said the Jews get their pay, the Japs get their pay, the Africans get no pay. So he said to I, the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey, he was a youth. Yeah, Bongo Stano was a youth when Garvey used to walk around the place and people used to stone him, you know. When Marcus Garvey speak about the God of Ethiopia, you know. Because Marcus Garvey was the first one on the island that speaks about the God of Ethiopia. And he said, the Lion of Judah shall come to rescue I and I. And he said, 1924, the Honorable Marcus Garvey went into Madison Square Garden and have a public speech, and he said, "Where is the black man's government?" That time, Marcus Garvey had the UNIA, United Negro Improvement Association, and he said, "Where's the black man's government? It's time for us as a people to look to Ethiopia, because the king shall be crowned. And in the crowning of the king, you shall see 7 miles of black star liner coming into the harbor." And I was just listening to Bongo Stan. I was just listening to everything, you know. And he said, "Youth, you will see one day." And my beloved, I tell you, say, 1966, I becomes 10-year-old. And my mom was living at a place called Benicàssim. And Haile Selassie came into Kingston. And Bongo Stana said, "Yes, and I go and chat, go see the king. Come and see the Rasta God today." And I said, "Bongo Stana, I can't do that. I can't run in front of the house, you know." And it so happened that I didn't have to go to Kingston. It so happened that when His Majesty come into Kingston, His Majesty take the railroad. Yeah, the railroad. And come to a place called Montpellier. So when I went to the train station now with Bongo Stano, him lift her up and put her around his neck and say, "Bingi youth, witness God today." And when His Majesty, I go and tell them, you know, when His Majesty, when the train door opened, you know, and the Minister of Foreign Affairs spread the red carpet on the ground, and he said, "Oh, Haile Selassie the First, the Lion of Judah," start to read out his titles, you know. "Is here today for a state visit. And we welcome Haile Selassie the First." And I'm on his shoulder like this, you know, Bongo Stana shoulder, looking, you know, I said, "Blood, fire." And beloved, when the train door open and I see His Majesty go like this and take out the left foot, and when the left foot come out, I man witness a gush of wind. Boom, come out of the train door, out from him pants foot, and start to blow everything, The policeman hat start blow away, the train sign drop a ground, bop, everything start blow away. And when I see that, His Majesty come out to the right foot and start to step on the carpet, then he levitate off of the ground, and the carpet start blap, 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 and just peer dust. And everybody start cover them head, the policeman them start run. And when I see that as a youth, Clinton, I tell you, I say, I man hold him shoulder like so, and jump off him shoulder and run. yeah. I run. So when I run to my mother, and Mama said to me, say, "Boy, what happened?" I said, "Mama, the Rasta God is a magician." She said, "Boy, what did you see?" I said, "Mama, when the Rasta God step out of the train, I jump off a Bongo Stano's shoulder, and when him step off a train and walk on the red carpet, he was walking in midair, and I see a gush of wind come out of pants foot and start to blow everything." And my mom just hold me like so. He said, "Son, always remember, the ancient prophecy says, whenever you see God, the whirlwind shall be at His feet." And that's my testimony in seeing our divine majesty, Emperor Haile Selassie I. So my beloved, I tell you, yeah, that is my testimony. Yes, I, Rastafari.
Check. I have a question for both Clinton and Iqulah. The question is about Count Ossie. I'm wondering if you have personal recollections of Count Ossie, because through records we know it's probably the very first Rasta musician going into a recording studio were the Buru drummers of Count Ossie, but very little is known about the man Count Ossie. I had something through interviews, some recollection from artists, but if you have some personal recollection, it would be very good.
Well, me and my brother Clinton could have go more into Count Ossie now. But I man know of Count Ossie as a Rasta youth, and We used to learn drums from Kontasi. See? We used to learn drums from Kontasi. Sitting and whole vibes. But maybe Brother Clinton might have more contribution to make about Kontasi, Rastafari.
No, you say because I'm a country youth, me country youth, you know, I know of his music, but when I went to Kingston, I just pass him by here and there, and we never really have a discussion or I get to see him perform, you know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
But
Yes,
I know of his I know his music.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, man, Kontasi was a stalwart, you know. I would say Kontasi was a genius in terms of his instrumentation, the way how he put music together, you know. Because, you know, I don't know if anyone here ever hear Haile Selassie Royal Band play. You ever hear the band of Haile Selassie play? They hear some of my music. All right. The same.
Same music, sound the same.
Yeah.
Royal, divine.
When you hear Count Ossie, you know, say his music is coming from the throne room. Because when I listen to certain tracks from Haile Selassie band, is the same exact thing. And I was saying, how Count Ossie reproduce it like that? Yeah, check it, yeah? Yeah. So Count Ossie was a genius, man. Rastafari blessings every time.
Okay. So in a few moments, we're going to open things up for question and answer. So you, the good people here at Rototom, Sunsplash, Reggae University, can put your questions to our esteemed guests. So give some thought to what you want to put to our guests. But before that, I have a couple of other questions. And, you know, we've been talking about historical matters, but it's also important to remind that this music comes right up to the present. It's very much a living music. And the Rastafari consciousness in the music is a very living part of the music now. So, Selector, give us a little track, a little taste of track 13, just to remind us how up to date we are with this music.
I am thankful for all. I am thankful for all. Hey, the longest liver see the most. The good, the bad, the worst. I said the longest liver hear the most. The good, the bad, the worst. The longest liver feel the most. The good, the bad, the worst. I said the longest liver know the most. The good, the bad, the worst. And I am thankful for all. I am thankful for all. Cause sometimes we sing, sometimes we talk, sometimes we run, sometimes we walk, sometimes we laugh, sometimes we cry, sometimes we wet, sometimes we dry. And when all is said and done.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you, man. Thank you all. Thank each and every one of you. Thank you.
So, Clinton, this is from your current album, your new album, Breaking News. Tell us about the album and tell us about that particular track.
That particular track, you know, it's me summing up my history, coming up the line, and went through some rough times, went through some sickness. I got over it, still doing music. And when I look at the whole thing and the musicians that performed with me and Breaking News, I just considered myself blessed. And it's just a simple way of just giving thanks for everything. That's what the song is about, you know. I'm just giving thanks for being alive, still doing what I love and loving what I do. As simple as just that. Thank you.
And yeah, if our other panelists down the other end have any question or input to make, feel free to come in now.
Yes, Rastafari has always been like very conscious about environmental things, about food. Rastafari has always been very conscious about the way people live together. Right now we live in a time where you feel like there's crisis all over. We have an environmental crisis with the climate change, war not only in Ukraine but in several places in the world. How do you feel Rastafari can contribute to solve those crises?
I may not know, but right true and true, I'm on liberty. I'm always a farmer. Always a farmer. Right now in Jamaica, I get the champion farmer for 3 years straight. I with the Rasta community in a place called Amity, Westmoreland, with a brethren called June Yamanen, I stagiaire. Yeah, I stagiaire. See? So I have always running farm. Right now in California, I have a farm in California that I'm on a deal with farming. I just reap up, before I leave California, I reap up bags and bags of garlic. Because right now, the garlic that is coming into Jamaica right now is coming from China. And them thing they run a cesspool. See? So I'm now set up a seed bank, which is very crucial. I harvest my garlic and I have bags and bags of garlic right now that I'm going to take to Jamaica to rekindle the Gideon farm forward in Jamaica. Because at this present time, we set up the Gideon farm in California. Because the region that I live in California is an organic zone. A lot of people do not know much about California. But you see, California, the name California is from a black woman. And the black woman is Queen Khalifa. She was a black Madonna. So I follow the principles of Queen Khalifa by tilling the soil. So this is what the Rasta community now is doing now. I always promote music, culture, and agriculture. Rastafari. That I bless him. Isis.
Any comment or thing to add, Clinton?
Yeah, I totally agree with that. You know what I mean? I grew up in the country myself, and like I said, you know, sugar cane, you know, we planted banana. We have a banana that we call Gros Michel banana. You know the one, right? Right. You know, and all kinds, you know, drink spring water and all that. We lost that along the way. You know, I remember in Kingston there where there was, on Spanish Town Road, there was a hot spring, you know, and someone bought the land and built something over it and then charged people to come there and spoil it, you know. What I'm trying to say is that it's upon all of us to make a difference. We cannot wait on government to make a difference for us. All of us have to chip in and make a difference.
Thank you. Yes. Now, just before we move to the question and answer section, we just want to play a little bit of one last intriguing track. And this is by Aikula, and it's got some combination special guests along with him. So give us a bit of track 16.
Hey! King Selassie the first, no? Yes, fireball! Be still! Yes, my lion! IQ left Stephen Ragamuffin, Marley and Junior Gang, you know? Selassie I live. Yeah!
Jah would never give the power to a mortal. Jah would never give the power to a mortal. 2,000 years of I should say could not be wiped away so easily. 2,000 years of I should say could not be wiped away so easily. Hey, if Paul till a Rasta then tell I, who am I?
Yes. So, Iqulah, what can you tell us about this track and who you recorded it with and how?
Well, I want to tell you, say, you know, you see, where is a vibration, you know. You know, as I and I say, the amount of atrocities that I and I have been through, you know, I give thanks for the Morgan's heritage, say you don't have a dread to be Rasta. And I man fully understand where they're coming from. But at the same time, you have to really understand that I and I covenant is a symbol of strength. And it's a commitment with the Almighty and I take when I grow and I dreadlock, you know. And the amount of persecution and tribulation and atrocities that I and I have been through because just because of I dreadlock, I couldn't go to school. Them beat I down, them fight I. See? You know, say, no. I'm going to tell you something. 1979, you know. That before Bob Marley passed away, you know. I and my brethren, them called Builder, we went to Grand Cayman. We meet up with some other brethren. And when I and I went to Grand Cayman, them take I and throw I in a prison. Because of dreadlock. And you know what the woman said to I? She said, you are not famous like Bob Marley, and Bob Marley could not come here. So how the hell you come to Grand Cayman? They threw us in jail. So these tribulation, and because I and I feel the pain, so I had to come with something. Now, one day I man trod up and check Steve, you know. Because rather them, you know, the Marley soldier, them, you know, the youth, them, you know, them look up to Iman as an elder for them, you know.
You mean Stephen Marley?
Yeah, Stephen and Juna Gang, you know. So I went up to the studio and I said, you know, so Steve, may I feel a little energy, you know. And them said, what you feel like, you, lah? So I take up the Congo, the Kete drum and start chant the Kete, you know. And I said to him, listen this. If Baal tell a Rasta, then tell I, who am I? If Baal tell a Rasta, then tell I, who am I? You know? And he must say, blood clot. He must say, wait, Iqulah. A serious thing that, you know. I must say, you know, see it. After I and I trod through certain things and certain tribulations, treading and, you know, see the Jolly Bus, seeing Baal Taylor, Flintstone, that time, you know, Geos Bus. Yeah, the Geos Bus at town, you know, when we used to have to take bus and go from point A to point B. People that shun we are for the bus, Flintstone, pan I, even on a back wall, people, Flintstone, and I say, Rasta, no go on our teeth, this and that. So I said, no, I have to respond to the music there, you know. And so when I do that, Steve say, yes, I. Make I touch peace side. And then Juna Gang come and say, yes, Father Iqulah, make I touch peace side too. So, you know, make the people hear it.
Okay, a little bit more track 16.
Rastafari.
Again, yeah.
So that's how it was created. Haile Selassie, Rastafari.
Hey, King Selassie the first, no? Yes, Fireball. Be still. Yes, my lion. IQ left Stephen Ragamuffin, Marley and Juna Gang, you know. Selassie I live. Yeah.
Jah would never give the power to a born tail. Jah would never give the power to a born tail. 2,000 years of I should say could not be wiped away so easily. 2,000 years of fashion sins could not be wiped away so easily. Hey, if Baal tell a Rasta, then tell I, who am I? If Baal play a Rasta, then tell I, who am I? If Baal tell a Rasta, then tell I.
Yeah, nice. Okay, so we've reached the time for question and answer for our esteemed guests. So who would like to put the first question to Clinton Fearon and Ras Aikula on this subject of Rastafari in the music? And no need to be shy. Now's your chance. Our special guest. Okay, we got a couple questions.
Blessed love. My question goes to Ras Aikula. Brother Aikula, when I come out with the music like on public in the, I would say mid to late 80s,
Yes,
how the I was received in Jamaica with the music? Because at that time, it's a whole lot of dancehall crap ruled Jamaica, and there was not much space. Excuse me. There was not much space for roots music. I know that I was well received in Europe, but how it was in Jamaica?
Through the grace of the Most High, Haile Selassie I, them say a king is not recognized in his own community, you know. They are saying. But you see the thing about it now, when I do the music in Jamaica, I didn't know the fight where I and I would get, because through I and I a stalwart in the Rasta trad. So I wasn't even looking at Jamaica. I was just doing something. And it so happened that out of the farm where I run, I make some papers in the farm, some money, and I say, you know something, go take a walk out of Jamaica, you know, and take the music out in Europe, you know. And it's so I and I link up Ras Aikula, this bridge here, see it? And I and I link and say, you know something, we're going to put a tour together by ourselves. Ras Aikula can tell the eye. We have no company behind us. It's just I and Ras, as Ras are work together. So I man buy 14 tickets and come in Switzerland. And when I and I come in Geneva, Switzerland, no one, see, just come in till I reach at the airport, family. People say, where are you going? I said, well, we just trod Earth, because we are inhabitant of the planet Earth, and in Earth there is no barriers and boundaries. So the immigration officer said, what? What? Repeat it again. So I said, well, we are inhabitant of the planet Earth, and in Earth there is no barriers and boundaries to stop I and I as Rasta. So him say to I and I, go. Right? And I and I went to an art exhibition. And when we went to the art exhibition, I meet this lady. She was a top artist from Algeria. We're just talking, you know. It's a mystical question that you asked me a while ago. So here we are now. So go to the art exhibition. I see an Ethiopian virgin and him say, I know you. So I said, from where? Him said, I recognize you from Jamaica. I'm His Majesty grandson. And I said, David. Because when His Majesty came to Jamaica, David was a youth just like myself. And the youth same recognize I from them time there. So anyway, we link up and him said to I, where you guys staying? And I said, well, we're not staying anywhere, you know. We just come in Europe and decide, say, well, we're going to look at a house. And you know, because we have a little change, so we're going to rent a place. And he said, oh, no, my house is your house. And him take I and I, the 14 I and carry to him in place. Them have a place in Nian, where His Majesty have a house in Nian, Switzerland. And him take I and say, and you know, so the virgin put I and I to bed like a baby. And him say, you guys can stay here till you get yourself sorted out. And then the same lady now tell I and I, say she have a place that we can stay. So after staying with Prince David for about three weeks, we contact the lady, and the lady said she have a place, which is the Guinea Embassy. So I and I end up at the Guinea Embassy house. No one was there, so we just take over the house and live in that house for about 2 years. Yes, you remember? Yes. That's where I and I link up, you know. Yeah. See? And we live in the embassy house. And then now we make a little change and we get a bus. Link up with Ras Aikula. And we say we're going to put a thing together. And we put a tour together. See? Working together collectively without no company. And we do it and we go Scandinavia. Yeah, they can reason.
Rastafari, good and pleasant. Yes, I. Good, sweet memories here. So, Ras Aikula, together with I, we spent good time in preparation. We set up something called the Scandinavian Reggae Circuit. So we spent 1 year with an old Volvo car driving through Sweden, Finland, Norway, and Denmark to find out in every big town if people love reggae music. And everywhere we go, we find the best clubs with the best sound systems, best PA, and ask them, would you love to have live reggae music? And they say, of course, but we hear that these Jamaican people, they are complicated to deal with, and we don't have no connection. So we said, no problem, you will deal with I.
Yes, sir.
So,
Yes, sir.
and then we drive all the way to London, park this old Volvo, and fly to Jamaica, and started some reasoning. We went back, and we worked it out. With the first tour we did, I think it's with Itals. And yeah, the group Itals, and yes, sold out. And then Aikula 2 times, and it was mystic. We do a tour, and the biggest man is the drummer, Granville, and him can't play foot, him can't play drum with him shoes, come just in our work, him play barefoot, and he never need no mic, because the man is so heavy and nice. But him not have no passport, so we do a whole Scandinavian tour without passport. This is not Schengen time. You have to have a visa in your passport for every man. So how we do it, when we finally got to south of Sweden and get them out of the police station after about 4 hours in my minibus, yeah? We go driving up the first show is in Oslo. When we come into Norway border, I'm telling everybody, quick, passport. With 9 people in the car, 8 passport. All right. Reach the passport control, I'm driving, I hand out 8 passport. The man looked for me, he go through every passport carefully, see the stamp is there. Then he walk around the whole bus. And every face, he see a black man with smiling to him. And no European police, no Scandinavian police, him can't recognize a black man from the next one. It's just like that. And he don't want to look stupid. So he don't want to try to connect one man with a passport. So he just walk 1 round around the bus and give me 8 passport for 9 people. And I hear me, we went Norway, we went Sweden, we went Finland, and we went Russia. I was probably the first one who bring a Jamaican reggae band to Russia when Russia break down. Aikula Rastafari. And it was a magic. The reception in Russia was incredible because they never have no reggae, but they love reggae. They love reggae the same way. So I know that the power of this music, if there's anyone can make a change in this world, it's I. And everyone start with themselves. Not true? Rastafari! Give thanks and praise.
Okay. I know we got some more questions, I remember. So who else had questions for us? Team, gotta give it a go. Oh, yeah.
Hello. Give thanks. My question is to Mr. Clinton Fearon, but first of all, I want to show you my maximum respect because you are a big legend of Roots Reggae Foundation.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you, my brother. Thank you.
So many years performing and recording. Now you have like 71 or 72 years and you are in excellent shape. And we can enjoy your music. So I just want you to tell us about a story maybe in your early years with the Gladiators and with your relationship with Albert Griffiths, who sadly passed away like last year, I think. Gladiators was a foundation of reggae music as well.
It's very true. It's very true. We went through some rough times. Sometimes we went through times where we share a banana. Albert, Gallimore Sutherland, and myself especially share one ripe banana, drink water, make some more music. You know what I mean? Share a mango. You know what I mean? Buy a pound of flour and some ackee and saltfish and boom. Sugar and water with lemon, you know what I mean? And boom, without ice. You know, but the music was the forefront. The music was the forefront. We really loved music dearly, you know. And I remember my first time out of Jamaica with the Gladiators. It was we played in England, in London actually, at a place called the Vera Club. It's so long ago I can't remember the year. But I remember, like 3 people fainted in the club the night. It was too packed. But the joy outside of those people fainted, the joy I felt just tell me, so well then, those bananas, that where 3 we eat 1 banana, we share a couple of dumplings, you know what I mean, worth every minute of it. Because when you look at the people and how joyful they were and enjoying, and it keeps going. And those kind of lights is the light that keep me going same way. You know what I mean? It's good to create. And one thing I want to say too, no matter how fans and friends and people tell you, hey, you're on top, you are the best. See yourself. No, no. I see my philosophy is, I'm working towards 100%. Right now, because of my age, I could say, well, then I'm at 30%. I still have 70% to go. I'm keep on learning because I love it. I love it. And this is for all. I'm saying this for each and every one of us. If you're not doing what you love and loving what you do, it's not too late to start. It don't have to be music. It can be making shoes from you're passionate about it. Go for it. That's why I'm so young, my brother. Thank you. Blessings.
Thank you for that question. Now, we've reached the time when this very mystical session is about to come to its close. So who would like to put the last question to our special guests gathered here? Got time for one last question. So don't squander it. Who wants to put the last question, and don't be shy? Okay, we got one last question at the back here.
Brother Clinton, this one goes to the eye. Was it the one shared banana, the little lime water with sugar in it, that made it possible that in a Fide Idem area, we see so many duos, trios, quartets, people, brethren and sisters coming together, chanting, and we don't see that today. I don't see not one quartet, I don't see no trio, I don't see no vocal harmonies, the way the Idem, they deal with it.
It's true, my brother. And you know what? It's like we have too much options these days. That's part of it, Many options today. Back then, it was a way out. It was a way out. You found something, you don't let it go. You know what I mean? So when you find a group like a trio like the Diamonds, Meditations, you know what I mean? You stick with it. And you keep on working. Remember the cables? The cable. Why, baby, why? Okay. They went to Coxon. I don't know this for sure. I heard it from good grounds. That they went to Coxon audition. And Coxon, kind of just run a joke because they weren't ready. Hey, come back in 3 years. Go practice and come back in 3 years. Figure that they would just forget it. They went away and they go practice for 3 years, come back, a hit. It was a hit after 3 years. So that's what determination can do, you know what I mean? And we were determined, you know what I mean? And I say this to my brethren, them who still don't lose the fire. Because you know what? The branch cannot survive without the root. So don't lose the fire, brethren. You know what I mean? Let's keep on going same way and pass that torch on to the younger generation. Because you know what? Together we can make a difference. Divided we are nothing. Yes, and this is for all people I'm talking about.
Okay.
Blessings.
Yes. Now, right about now, we're going to take a little break. We are going to be right back here, 7 p.m., when our special guest will be Julian Marley. So go take a breather, refresh yourself. And also, don't forget, tonight, tomorrow night, Wednesday the 17th, 8:15 on the main stage, Clinton Fearon with the Rhythm Source Band. So one more time, warm round of applause for our special guest, Ras Aikula, Clinton Fearon, and thanks to the House of Rastafari for jointly chairing this session. And be right back, 7 p.m. this evening.